Hey YouTube, Country Boy Prepper here. I'm at a buddy of mine's house, and in his rabbitry here, he's got a bunch of rabbits that he's started raising. And I wanted to talk to y'all today a little bit and tell y'all some of the benefits of raising rabbits and how much it can help you with your long-term sustainability for protein and food for your family. And I'm going to kind of let him help me out a little bit because I'm not an expert on this. I don't know everything there is to know about it, but I do know enough to know it's something I want to get into as soon as I can. But he's getting started with it and well on his way, and he's got a good operation going here. But what kind of rabbits are these? These are
Californians.
Californians, aren't they like a mix of two different types, you said? Or are
they were bred from New Zealand whites and from Himalayans. That's where they get their color from, Himalayans.
So they're just called Californians?
They're called Californians.
Oh, okay. And these are specifically bred for meat production,
That's right? Yep.
Yeah. And you said that under optimal conditions, a single doe, which is a female rabbit, can produce up to like 300 pounds of meat in a single year. Under optimal conditions with the best treatment, the best conditions, the best food. You know, even if you're not that good at it, you're still looking at over 200 pounds of protein produced by a single rabbit in a year. I mean, and when you consider how quickly they can multiply, you're talking about a lot of protein. With a rabbit, how old do they have to be before you can breed them? Is it?
I would say 6 months is the optimal age to begin breeding. Maybe 8 months, but 6 months you can start them.
So about 6 months you can start breeding them, and then once you breed them, it's exactly 31 days.
31 days.
31 days from the time you breed them, they will give birth to the what do you call it, a litter?
I call them kits.
Kits, and about how many do they usually have?
The average is going to be about 8 kits per litter. About
8 per litter. And then from after 31 days they'll have their litter, and then from that time well, you said 3 months they'll be fed by the mother, right? You have to start feeding?
About 4 weeks.
4 weeks. So about 4 weeks you don't have to feed them. The mother will just nurse them, and then the next 4 weeks you have to feed them. Mm-hmm. So basically from the time they're born, 8 weeks is the time before they're of size where you can put them in the stew pot and harvest them, basically. So you're talking about 31 days from breeding, they're born, 4 weeks before you have to feed them, and then only 4 weeks after that you actually have to feed them before they're of a mature size that they're good to eat. And you don't actually want them to be huge, as big as you can. If they get too big, the meat isn't as tender. It's actually better to harvest them at a smaller size. About how many pounds is the optimal, you said?
Generally, you're going to harvest them when they are 4 to 5 pounds per rabbit, and that'll give you about 2.5 pounds of meat per rabbit.
Yeah. So anyway, long and short of it is they produce a lot of protein, and it's very, very good protein. It's very good food. I've eaten it. We've butchered a couple of them over here and cooked them, and they were very, very good. Very similar to chicken, maybe a little bit tougher, but very, very similar to chicken. And they're quiet. They don't stink, believe it or not. The manure that they produce, the food, their digestive system moves so quickly because they grow so fast that their manure, literally, it doesn't stink. That sounds weird, but it doesn't really stink out here. I'll just pan down and show y'all. Under their cages is full of manure, and it doesn't stink really at all, like you would think it would. And this manure, another good benefit of it is the manure is some of the best fertilizer you can get. If you take just standard cow or horse manure and throw it in your garden, it's actually not good for your garden because it'll burn your garden. It's the acidic levels are out of balance or something. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I know with rabbit manure, you can just throw it directly on your garden, and it's extremely good for your garden. And if you get worms growing in your manure pile here, and then the worms eat the manure and break it down and digest it, and they produce more manure, that's even better from what I've heard. So anyway, there's a lot of good benefits to raising rabbits. Like I said, they're quiet. They don't make a lot of noise. They're fairly easy to take care of. Your kids can do most of the daily stuff. There's actually a fan up here. We turned it off just so it wouldn't be so loud. But you want to try to keep them cool in the heat of the summer. They don't like to get too hot. And you need to learn a few things about what to look out for and some of the diseases to watch out for that they can catch and how to recognize them and stuff. But overall, I think it's a really good thing to get into and to have. They don't take up a lot of space. And literally with just a small operation like this, I mean, he's got several more cages over here. You could produce enough rabbits and enough protein to feed your family quite easily. And the food is relatively cheap. It's not expensive to feed them. Really, the only limitation long term, as far as like a grid down situation, is just stockpiling enough food to feed them. Really, I guess worst case scenario, if you had to, you could put them in like something like a chicken tractor and let them graze off the land naturally. But they're not going to grow as quickly probably as they will feeding them the good stuff.
That's right.
But anyway, this is something that I'm definitely interested in getting into eventually. And another good thing about rabbits is a lot of times in the cities, you can actually raise these in the cities where other livestock would be prohibited.
That's right.
Because they're classified as pets, basically. And they don't take up a lot of space, they don't make a lot of noise, they don't stink, so they're not very disruptive to your neighbors. And you can easily do this in a heavily populated area and have a really good supply of protein with this. So, and I'll probably put some more video in here at the end of this video, but my buddy here, he's got another friend who lives locally here, who's probably, what did you say, the second largest in Alabama?
He's definitely the second largest in this part of
region,
Alabama. Yeah.
Or Alabama.
Yeah.
He's got a huge rabbitry, and we went over to his place. He showed us around and kind of showed us some of the ins and outs of it, and I took a little video over there. I'll probably put that at the end of this video and show you all that. But he has, I believe, over 1,000, I mean not 1,000, over 100 rabbits over there. I mean, he's got a really, really big operation going. I mean, he's actually probably making some money with it. But you don't have to do it that big. Obviously, you can do it this big or however big you want. Grow it as big as you want. Another important thing to keep in mind is you want to make sure that you build your pen and your containment area very securely. You want it to be secure from dogs and cats and coyotes and foxes, anything like that could get in here and get to them or stress them out or anything like that. That goes for rabbits and chickens pretty much. But anyway, like I said, I'm not really an expert on this. It's something I'm just learning about, and it's very interesting to me. I definitely want to get into it as soon as I can, when I can. But I encourage y'all to look into it, and if you're looking for some long-term sustainability things for your food preps, or if you're looking into homesteading, I would highly encourage you to definitely check out rabbits. They seem to be a really, really awesome option. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching, and y'all have a great day.